We told you earlier in our show that the federal government is scrapping the pre-arrival PCR testing for fully vaccinated travelers. That's happening February 28th. But there are some things you should know before booking that trip. So to talk more about that is Pamela Kwiatkowski, and she's the Vice President of Insurance Products with Goose Insurance, and she joins us live from Vancouver. Hi there, Pamela.
Hi, Tony.
Okay, travelers won't need a PCR test to enter Canada as of February 28th. How important is this decision?
Well, it's twofold. I think, first of all, one, it's going to save money, but I think Canadians need to know that you still need to have a rapid antigen test within 24 hours prior to coming back into Canada. So that's key for everyone to remember. And it cannot be an at-home test. It needs to be at an approved clinic or an approved virtual provider for antigen tests. So this is great news because if you're planning a trip, your cost for an antigen test is much lower than a PCR test. I think the other great news that we heard today is that children under 12 no longer need to quarantine when they arrive back into Canada after their holiday. So they can arrive, go back to school, go to daycare, play soccer. So this is a step in the right direction for the Canadian traveler, absolutely.
Pamela, any sense as to what those PCR tests cost people in the U.S. before entering Canada and what a rapid antigen test might cost?
Well, I've seen them as high as $350 US. I paid $300 in Texas in October. So that's a significant savings. You can typically get an antigen test for under $100 in most US places, and also in places like Mexico, even less than that. You can also order them through providers who give you virtual, which is even less than $100 Canadian. So it pays to do a bit of shopping and to do a bit of research if you're planning your trip and finding out where you can get it and how much it's going to cost, and shop around, absolutely. But the savings is significant between the antigen and the PCR. The other great news is that you get your test results within 15 minutes with an antigen test, and with PCR, there's a waiting period. So it is a much faster result. But there still will be requirements if you do test positive at that time, that you need to stay in your destination until you've 11 days passed, or your and your symptoms have dissipated if you have any.
Pamela, we only have about 50 seconds left. Did you find people were not traveling because of the PCR test, and now you'll see maybe an influx or more people booking trips as a result?
Well, we expect to see an influx of bookings, absolutely, because that cost for a family of four went from potential $1,200 US down to under $400, and the children under 12 don't need to be tested. So if you have younger children, that's a significant savings, and I think that will alter decision making for many Canadian families who were hoping to travel during spring break.
Very quickly, we only have 20 seconds left, so this applies not only if you fly, but also land travel, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's always important to remember to get your travel insurance and ensure that you have COVID protection before you go, because as we heard from the Minister Duclos, there are still risks that are involved in traveling, but the cost has gone down. So that's a step in the right direction, as I said, and great for Canadians as we plan to travel during spring break.
Pamela, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Tony.
Pamela Kwiatkowski joined us live from Vancouver. And to learn more about Goose Insurance, head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca, and follow the link.